You don't know this, but this is the second time I'm recording. Hi friends, welcome back to Little Monkeys and Me. I'm Fernanda and this is episode 11. You don't know this, but this is the second time I'm recording. Long morning. It's all good. I am back. So if you are new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you. If you are back, if this is not your first time and you're back for some more craziness, then thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, I'm Fernanda. I live in North Carolina with my husband, my 3 kids, and our lovely dog Luna. And I haven't been here for a bit because we just started school about 2-3 weeks ago. So when I was about to start recording again when like the 2 weeks was up, then we started school and that was just crazy. Then my family just got sick. I'm fine, but everyone's fine now. So I'm recording today for the second time. So let's hope it goes well this time and it is actually recording. Whew. You can find me on Revelry, where my friend and I, Ruth, so from Ruth Love to Knit, we are running a cal that will end the end of this month. And the cal is across the pond shawl cal, and you can make any shawl. There's still time. We have some goodies that I will show you, some more goodies that I got for the prices. And I hope that you keep on joining. We had lots of people join and lots of projects already up in the FO thread. You can also find me on Instagram at littlemonkeysand_me. I will put that there, and I also have an email which is littlemonkeysandme@gmail.com. I will have all that information below. If you hit that little arrow right here, then it's gonna open the description box, where I put links to things. I also have timestamps so you can jump around and see if you want to skip any section or if you want to go to a specific section, then you can also do that. I think that's all the admin stuff that we have, and it's a long episode, people. I hope you're okay with that because, well, it's been a while. So I have a lot of FOs between the 2 times that I recorded, and I also have the FOs from the secret test knits that I have done for the volume Little Knits volume 4 for Fox and Folk. So that's already, that's a separate thing, but it's gonna be in here. So let's go ahead and start. My first FO, where did it go now that I had to move everything? Well, let's talk about these ones. These gorgeous socks are a test knit for Anna, for Annie Unique Knits. I'll put her handle here, and she also has a podcast. I've talked about her before, and these are super duper cute. They are very easy to make. I haven't blocked them, but they are here so you could see them because I finished them last night. These were supposed to be a whip because I was going to record a few days ago. They turned into 2 things that were whips turned into FOs in the time between that I was going to record and then I didn't. So these ones are her Titos socks, and it means fold, as she told me. It means fold in Finnish. And these are done with just purls and knit stitches. You will have the whole design. You have it on the leg of the foot, and then you're gonna have it at the top of the foot with just stockinette at the bottom with a heel flap and gusset. I did the one that she asked on I do like following a pattern exactly how they ask, even though I could have switched the slip stitches and make them into Io Partridge, which is my favorite. But I figured if I'm testing a pattern, I can actually just do exactly what they want me to do. Also to test to make sure that whatever they wrote in was correct. So I had no problems with this pattern. It was very easy to make. You can make it longer, you can make it shorter. It's up to you. I use West Yorkshire spinners in the colorway, I believe, Honeysuckle. So it's a pretty pink, and here they are. They're both done. I just need to block them, but in reality, these are for me. These are also my September socks. So if you've been here a little bit, you know that I want to make a pair of socks each month. So I definitely have 9. I have more than 9 because I've made a few months. I made more than one for me. So maybe at the end of the year, I can actually sit down and show you the socks. Maybe we can go through a little socks of the year that I've made. So this is the first FO. Don't know what happened to my other one. I had them right here the first time I recorded, because they were cute. Oh, I found them. They were under a bunch of other things. Okay, so the second FO is this. They are socks for my husband for his birthday. His birthday is in November. He doesn't really watch this, so I don't think I have a problem. Plus, he did watch me make them. Like, he saw me making them, but I don't think he pays attention anymore to what I'm making. I'm always making something. So these are from Opal yarn, and the colorway is 9445. I'll write it down below anyways. And I usually like matching socks, but this time I didn't mind because it is almost like a tie-dye. It almost looks like it's okay that they don't match, and I like them. They turn out really well. This is just a vanilla sock that I always make for my husband. I do 2.5 millimeters. I use my Chiagu, my favorite 9-inch. And I know some people don't like them, but I absolutely love them. If I have to choose, I would go circulars, magic loop, and let's not even talk about DPMs. I could. I know how to use them. I don't like them. So let's just talk about these. 60 stitches for my husband, and it's a very easy, it's just a vanilla sock that I always make for him. These are great. I like Opal yarn. I like how it is not rough, but you can feel a little bit more woolly, and I find them very, very warm, and they're durable. I do like this brand. So this was my second FO. So I have two socks this month, because it's been a month. Now let's talk about this FO, my Gro Shawl by Fiber Tales. So if you've been here a while, you know that one, I like Fiber Tales. 2, I got some Nutiden a while back. It's specifically for this pattern. So it is all done. As you can see, the beautiful bottom where the flowers are, it's all done. And then this is done from the bottom up. So you start with all your stitches cast on, then you do you do the flowers, and then you decrease on only one side. As you can see, this is completely right triangle. So you go decreasing up to the very top. So how would I wear this one? Well, I like to wear it to like a corner. So you're gonna put it here. Let me see. It's kind of hard to do it here. To like this, you can do it from this corner. Actually, this is easier. Maybe. Okay, how do I like to wear it? I like to put it on like this, kind of like this corner, it's here. And then you grab the longer side, and then you can put it up like that. And it kind of stays on. And this is absolutely warm. It is one of the warmest things ever. It is extremely, extremely cozy. So Nutiden is an unspun yarn, as maybe you've heard of it before. It is completely unspun, so it's very easy to break. But I did do what Caroline said, and Caroline said that it was easier if you grab the 2 strands. This is done by 2 strands together. And if you make it into a ball, then once you're knitting, it's a little bit easier to knit with it, and you can go a little bit faster, and also you'll have a little bit less breaking moments. And in reality, I did do that. after last time I told you I was gonna try it, and I did try it and I did like it, and it was actually quite helpful. So if you are struggling because it is constantly breaking, I would say make yourself a ball, and it might make it a little bit easier. Now if it breaks, no problem, because you can just do spit splicing. I talked about that last time, how you get the two sides, you kind of get them wet. You can either do a spit or you can do just water, and then you go like that really, really hard, and it will start felting it a little bit together. It's not tons, you don't have to do it forever. And then you're gonna see that it actually stays, and then once you knit it together, it won't go anywhere. The pattern called for 3 plates, so Nutiden is sold in plates which look like this. I'll talk about more about this one later. So they look like this, and it's very similar to Plotolopi. Plotolopi's plates are just kind of like shorter or thinner, and but they're also 100 grams, just like that one. And they, what was I saying? I forgot. They sell them by plates. Oh, the pattern called for 3, and in reality I didn't use that much. I only used about 204 grams or so. So this is quite light and very, very spongy, and it's absolutely lovely. And well, the reason why, it could be many reasons. I haven't even actually measured this to make sure, like to check how much difference it was, my gauge with hers, because I did not gauge swatch. I usually don't for shawls. I knew that she said buy 3 or 1 or 4, so I bought 4. I only used 2 and a tiny bit more, so in reality I was good to go, which is great. And the reason why that could happen actually is because the way they make Nutiden is they sell them by plates, but the plates are not all equal. They're all 100, but you don't know exactly the yardage because they use different breeds, because of the way that they make this in very small batches, and all batches are different. All different colorways are done in a different way. They don't repeat colorways. It could be that, you know, she had more, I mean, she had less yardage and I had more, or in reality my gauge was just different than hers. I have no idea. I haven't tried it yet. I would have to check my gauge to see how off I was when it comes to compared to hers. But it's good because I had enough, and it's wonderful. The other reason why spit splicing is great, I only had 2 ends to weave. The top one, and then the end. The beginning and the end. That's what I meant. The beginning and the end. That's all I had to weave, and everything in between got spit spliced, and there was no problem at all. This is my Gro Shawl, and I absolutely love it. And dare I say it, that I'm actually excited for winter to come. I am not a winter person, but the more knits I make and the more cozy things that I have, the easier it becomes for me to enjoy winter, because then I'm not always so frozen. So I'm actually excited to try this to see, because this is really warm when you put it on. Granted, we are in summer, it's not extremely cold in here. I mean, it's extremely hot in here, but still, I don't know. I'm excited to see how this helps to keep you warm. So that is whip number 3. Next one. All right, we're gonna talk about a design by Jessica McDonald. So Jessica McDonald Designs, and this is her newest, one of her newest. It is called Skift, and it is for children, but she is working on an adult version, which my husband's very excited about, and I'm excited to make it for him so he can match my son, and then maybe even make it for my oldest son. So this is Skift. It is a yoke sweater. You can see there where the beginning of the round is in the back, so you can see a little bit of like laddering, but it's impossible not to, and I think it's really not that bad. It is a colorwork sweater where it's very easy to do, and it's very good for a beginner. So if you're thinking of doing color work and you've never tried it, and you want to try something in a very small scale. This starts from 3 months, I believe, and I made a size 6 for my almost 5-year-old. This is for my youngest boy. And well, it is very easy because you don't have long floats. That means you don't have to be catching floats. That means the only thing you're working on, it's working the 2 colors, and it's only a 2-color work project. So in reality, this is a very good first time pattern if you want to enter color work or you want to try it. I absolutely loved it, and I love the yarn that I use. Actually, I use Patons classic wool worsted, and I used it in these 2 colors. This color is dark gray mix and winter white. And I bought these ones at my big craft store here. I bought it at Joann, if you're in the United States. And very inexpensive. I used 2 and a little bit of a 3rd one for my son. And that's also because I wanted to make it lengthwise a little bit longer and a little bit longer in the arms. So also I used worsted instead of DK. This calls for DK, but I got gauge with worsted. And in reality, I just love this yarn so much, and it's 100% wool. It's not itchy at all. My guess is probably Highland wool, but it doesn't tell you. It just says 100% wool. And I wanted 100% wool for my kids. My kids are used to not putting these in the wash, and I don't wash them. So it's gonna be nice and warm, but it's not itchy. So my son doesn't have a problem with that. The colors are absolutely beautiful. It's a little bit, the gray, it's a little bit heathered. You knit this from the top down. So you do the yoke first. You go all the way till you have to divide for the sleeves. And then you do the body, and then you go and do each sleeve. Or you can do divide for the sleeves, put something, leave the body into either waste yarn, or you can just use stoppers. And then you can go and do the arms and then go do the body. Either way, it's fine, but you do it from the top. And it's a good opening. It's not too wide that it's falling off. You know, sometimes they do them and they're too wide, but no, this one's not, and it fits his head just fine. So this is this gift. I absolutely love it. Great beginner's pattern. And I did love it. And actually, I made that one second because the first gift that I made was this adorable one. Look how cute that is. So this is a 3-month one. It looks kind of small. It might be more like, since I didn't do any swatching. I never swatched this one to see if I was on gauge at all, but it's for a newborn. It's gonna be for a newborn. It definitely fits a newborn baby. And it's gonna be for my cousin. She is having her first baby, so I'm so excited. For this one though, I did use the, what's it called? Baby Lee Delights from Hobby Lobby. You've heard me talk about this one before, and you've heard me say that I like making things for babies. I do make a lot of gifts. And for first-time moms, or even not a first-time mom, but moms that are not used to woolly wools, because I don't want them to feel like, oh, this is too rough for my baby's face or my baby's body. 2, I don't want them to worry about how to take care of it. I don't want to give a gift to a first-time mom or a mom who's going to be tired and all that, and be like, oh, by the way, this is how you have to take care of this item. They're never going to put it on the baby. Or it's just going to be one of those things that it's just going to get ruined and they're not going to know how to fix it. And it's just, there's no point. And that's the good acrylic. I really do enjoy it. I think it's soft, but not squeaky and not annoying to work with. And the color work turned out really, really well. So this is going to be for my cousin and her baby. And I am so excited, especially because Erica from Rose Opal Knits, she came out with 2 patterns just now, and I test knitted one of them, and it is a cowl. And this is the cowl that she came out with, and it is called Arise. The pattern is actually free, and it's on her website, and I will make sure that I link it down below. And as you can see, it matches the colors with this. I used leftover from here to use into this. Her pattern calls for DK, so I use DK. And these are not color, this is not color work, it's actually slip stitches. So you slip stitches where it tells you to slip the stitches, and it actually creates a really fun pattern. It's really cute. It's gonna be for my cousin. So her birthday is coming up in October, and I believe the baby shower is gonna be in October. So I'm gonna give her that, and I have to make something else. I'm still deciding what to make, but I will make her something else too. Maybe some socks and maybe a onesie or something like that. I don't know. Different color though, but I figured, hey, why don't I make her something so she can match her baby, because he's supposed to be born in November. So it's a very easy pattern. As you can see, no color work, just slip stitches. You change the colors every 2 rows. In the back you can see where the colors met, but I don't think that looks ugly. I don't actually mind that line. You can barely see it, and I think it's fine. So, and it's the back of the cowl that's going to be all scrunched up. It fits really well. I'm not going to put it on right now because my hair is going to get all messed up, but it does fit well. And my husband actually kind of liked it, so I might have to make him, I might have to grab a few colors and make something for him of this one. So this is Arise by Erica, and I will make sure, Erica Saint, sorry, her last name is Saint, and I'll make sure that I'll link it down below. So that is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe five of those. We're flying through them. I hope I'm not being too fast. It's just, since I recorded this already, I don't know what I said already, and I don't want to take so long, but I'm not quite sure. So the last FO that I made in between, it's before we go into the Little Knits collection, it's this one. So it's a small shawl, so it's triangular shawl, which actually this works really well as like a scarf too, and it's mostly for my daughter. You can totally wear like this or like this, and you know, put it in between, like inside a jacket or whatever. This is mostly for my daughter. It actually fits her very well. But let me tell you about this one. This one is called Trionics, and if you noticed, I did put at the beginning of the video, it said paid promotions. Nothing here. I actually didn't get like physically paid with anything, but I figured I will always be transparent, and I will always tell you if something was gifted to me or anything at all. So Pump Magazine actually came to me and asked me to review this book, the Moon and Turtle book, that magazine that they came out with a few weeks ago. And they said, follow this link, look at the patterns to see if you're even interested. So I did, and there were several patterns that I really liked. So I said, absolutely, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to look through it. I didn't have to make something out of it. They said, we just want your review, and we'll give you a copy to give to your followers. So this is going to the price, to the prices for the cow, actually. So it looks exactly like this, but you're still not open. And I said, absolutely, I'm happy to do it. I am so excited. So when I got it right away, I went through it again, and the shawl was like, I need to make that specifically because I also had the yarn for it. So it is 100% mohair. Well, not 100% mohair. This is, what is it? 85-25, I think. 85 mohair, 25 silk, I believe. That's what I have left over. It does not look pretty. But this is from Sewrella here in North Carolina, actually. And this is their mohair, and it is the colorway Mojito. So it was from their summer collection, which was so much fun. It had a lot of cute colors. And if you remember, I also have a fingering weight of the same color. And the cool thing about that pattern, well, actually, the cool thing about this book, this magazine, is that it also comes with a code in the back that you can go to Ravelry and you put it in, and it gives you the online version of the whole entire magazine. So I don't have to take this around, or I don't have to try to keep it open to be able to knit. I can just do the digital copy, which is what I like. Or from the digital copy, I can just print the instructions or a chart if I wanted to have a physical copy, but I don't have to walk around with the actual book. I'm sorry. And this is Moon and Turtle by Kiyomi and Sachiko Bergen. They are twins who live in Canada, and they are both designers, but they usually don't design together, but they actually did this collection together, and it is really, really good. I will show you maybe some pictures here of some of their designs. And what I absolutely loved about this collection is that everything actually in it, it's completely unisex. You can make it for a man or for a woman, and they're unisex patterns, all of them. It has color work, it has hats, it has almost like a cowl with a hat. It was really cool. And it has cardigans, it has a color work yoke sweater, it has socks, and it's just so cute. They have here's the cowl, as you can see, maybe there, or maybe I'll put a picture up. There's a cowl, and it has some shirts. I absolutely love this cardigan. Like one of my brothers would absolutely love this, so I might have to make it for them. So almost every single pattern in this I would like to make. The other reason why I absolutely loved making the shawl, one is because I had the yarn, but also because it gives you a chart with 12 different sizes of the shawl. So depending on how many repeats you do, it is how big the shawl is going to be. So it gives you the approximate finished size of the shawl, how many repeats you would have to make of that, how many yards or meters will use, and how many skeins of yarn it would probably use to make it. So if you only have one skein and you want to make it the biggest as you can with one skein, it tells you how many repeats to do it and how much of that you will use. I only did 19 repeats, which is what this which is what he's wearing right here. And I let my husband try it on, and he's like, I like it. I mean, he likes this color. My husband wears all sorts of colors. He works from pink to blacks to all different colors, so he doesn't mind this color at all. My son also liked it, so and my daughter might have to share it, but I don't know. It's probably for her, unless I steal it too. It might be a family for the whole family. Whoever wants to wear something cozy, and it's super soft. It's mohair, but I mean, I do know some people who have a hard time with mohair, and in all reality, you could make this with fingering. Oh, and the pattern comes with DK and fingering. DK and mohair as the two options, and it gives you a chart specifically for DK and one specifically for mohair. But you can absolutely do this with I would just follow the mohair section, and I would just do it with fingering, and it would turn out really well if you don't like mohair. So this is the Trionyx shawl, and it was easy, it was simple, and I really enjoyed making it. And it's now a fluffy warm, it's gonna be warm. Mohair is quite warm, and I am excited to use it in the winter also. So it is. So if you were wondering if it was a good one, I really did like it. I think in every single pattern almost has some sort of variation that they tell you about to how to switch it, so it can, either accommodate you, or what other yarn you can use, or what other accommodation, or not accommodation, but a variation you can make. So yes, I figured I will let you know that I did like it, and I hope that one of you is excited to get one, because I was glad to talk about this. So that was my last FO before I move on to the Little Knits Volume 4 from Fox and Folk. So let me talk about these, because one of them I think I finished back in like the spring, but here it is. This is the first one, and I'm just doing it in the order of how I made them. So this is the Thistle Down Pullover. And as you can see, it has beautiful color at the top, and it's a raglan. And if it doesn't show very well here, I will do a close-up of that raglan stitch, because it's beautiful raglan stitch, which gives it, everything else is very normal, like, I mean, not normal, but like it has just stockinette, right? The whole thing is stockinette, so you let the yarn shine. And then it does have a little bit of like a puff sleeve with a twisted rib, which makes it very pretty. This is a little twisted rib on the bottom. And then you have the color, but yet it's simple, but because of the subtle, beautiful details, I think it makes it really, really pretty. It's a beautiful design. People, after I posted about this on Instagram, people were saying, I wish there was one in my size. And I agree. It is such a pretty design that, you know, maybe Nora, you need to make one for adults. I guess lots of people like it. So I use CD Tweed DK from Knit Picks on this one, and the color is Snowshoe. And I absolutely love this, because it's 100% wool, and it's, well, wool and wool tweed, and right now I can't smell anything, but it is a very shippy smell, which I absolutely love. So that is the first design, and I made this one for my daughter, and I made it in size 8. She's 8 years old, and it fits her just fine. So this is the first design. Now we're gonna move on to the Arbor waistcoat, and this is for my 4-year-old. I made it in size 4, but it's quite roomy, so it fits him just fine. And this is a vest. If you remember a few episodes ago, I made him another vest, which he loves. He hasn't had much chance to wear, but he's worn a few times, and then I was like, well, let's make him another vest. It is so cute. But wait until you see the back. That's where the true excitement comes in. That whole panel of cables is just gorgeous. Very easy to follow. I didn't use a cable needle. I just did it without a cable needle, but you can do either way. Which, I mean, without a cable needle makes it go a little bit quicker, but it's all good. I mean, I used to use a cable needle all the time, and then at one time I was like, oh, let me try, and it was fun, and so then I switch back and forth, whatever I feel like. So you do that from the bottom up. You do the pockets. Oh my goodness. The pockets, you do them after, so you get to choose whether you want pockets or not. Or you can do one pocket and not on the other side, and you can do no pockets or 2 pockets. And the yarn I used, I absolutely love. It is the Lionbrand Fisherman's wool, and I did it on color Brown Heather. And I have to say, I'm quite impressed. Between Patons and Lionbrand, they both came out with a worsted 100% wool that you can find at the store for not a bad price. I only had to buy 1 skein because they're big, and I used all of it, so only a little bit left over. But that makes it a very, and I think they're like $11 or something, and if you have, or $11.99, and if you have a coupon, because I believe I bought it at Joann, and I think I had a coupon, so I got it for less for a whole entire garment. I know it's not a big one, but sometimes we think, oh, our kids are not knit worthy because they grow so quick and yarn is expensive. But you know, which I understand, it is hard sometimes spending that much money on something that's not going to be worn a lot. But like I said, this one, I made it long enough. It's roomy. This is going to last him for years. And I only spent like 9 something on it. I think that's an awesome price. And it only took a little bit to, I mean, this is a vest. You don't have arms. It doesn't take that long to make. And me personally, because I do like knitting for others, and I understand some people like to knit mostly for themselves, and that's okay. That's okay. We knit for fun. So whatever makes us happy. I like knitting for my kids too, because I like knowing that I made that for them. Also, I have the idea of at one point just making their wardrobe, like getting ready for winter. I like that idea of just what is it that they need, and I can make it. I don't know. There's just, it makes me quite happy to do it. So this is definitely worth making if you're thinking. And really, it does not also, this is not just a boy pattern. Little girls can definitely rock vests, and you can make it in either this color, or you can make it in a different color. I think it's super, super cute. So this is the second pattern. Then is the Furrows cowl. And this cowl, which one's the back? I think this one. And this cowl is a color work cowl. It uses just 3 colors, but you're only using 2 colors at a time. So you will never have to deal with more than 2 colors, which makes it a very easy and a great beginner's pattern. I really enjoyed it. It was easy to remember, and it flew off the needles. I think I did this in probably 2 days, and I loved it. So the story behind this cowl is that when she came out with the pattern and she asked for the testers, this one calls for a sports or a very light decay, and I didn't have either. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to do it because I only have fingering at home right now. And she said, you know what, why don't you go ahead and try and see, so we can have an idea of like what it looks like with a fingering. So I went ahead and did it, and I tested it with this is Jamieson of Shetland. So this is Spindrift, and it's very similar to Jamieson and Smith. Very similar, just different, some different colors, but the feeling is quite the same. And I used only 3 colors, so only 3 balls of 25 grams, and I didn't quite use any of them all the way up. And I made this on size adult. She has, this one is the only pattern of the collection that actually goes all the way to adult. And as you can see, it probably could fit me, and it does, but not very comfortably. So for my 11-year-old, it fits him. My 8-year-old, it fits her, and it definitely fits my 4-year-old. My husband can also fit in it. It's just a little bit tighter, but in reality, if you are like super cold and you want to go somewhere really quick and you want something that will not move, because like the cowl that I showed you earlier, the Arise, is more of a cowl that's gonna fall. It's not gonna, I mean, unless you make it with 100% wool, maybe it'll stay up a little bit more, but it's not meant to. It's supposed to be a little bit more loose. This is going to kind of almost be super snuggly. And for my daughter and my son, for my kids, reality, it stays up and is really quite cozy, and it's gonna be nice and warm, and it's gonna go great under a nice jacket. I mean, I do understand I live in North Carolina. It doesn't get extremely cold, but I'm always cold, so I assume everyone else is. And yeah, so it ended up being more of like a young child or early teen, maybe not quite teen, but with an adult, because I did maybe even early teen. I think it could totally work, and I can wear it. So I would probably put this on if I need something more around my neck. So this is another great pattern that it's for beginners. Like I said, you do not have any floats. I think the longest is 3 stitches that you'll ever have, maybe 4, maybe 3 or 4. So you won't have to be catching floats. It's very easy beginner pattern. Absolutely love it. This is the back, and these are the floats. The inside, which I think looks so pretty. And the last pattern that I tested was the Aster bonnet, and I don't have them with me. I made 2 of them, but I don't have them with me because I give them away to my great niece and to my niece. So the pink one went to my great niece, and the blue one that you see there went to my niece. And they are so cute. I didn't really show pictures of my kids or other people's kids, so I can't show you what the little girls look like, but they looked so adorable. And the pink one is Laguna from Sewrella, and it's 100% wool, merino wool, superwash. So it's absolutely divine and so soft. I used it in my gracefully shawl. And the blue one, it is 20,000. That's the colorway name from Woolberry, I believe. Yes, Woolberry Fiber Company. And that one went to my niece, who was she was 5-6 months, and I made the 0 to 6 months for both of them. Now the contrasting color for the daisies on the top, that one, I don't remember the name of it, but you use not that much. I think in total I only use 10 grams on each bonnet. So this is perfect for minis. It is perfect for gifts. It is perfect for stash that you have left over, because you'll only use like 10 grams if you make the smallest size. So that is definitely going to be a go-to for me when I've made other bonnets, and actually other bonnets from Nora. And this one was so much fun to make. It was lovely and super easy. You don't use it a lot, so that's definitely going to be one for me to make in the future for babies, because I do like giving away baby knits. Whew. I don't know how long that was, but we went through all the finished objects. So let's move on to our whips, which is only 2 of them, because the Taito socks and the Trionics used to be part of our whips, but not anymore. So let's move on to this one. I am making another shawl, surprise, and it is the Spindrift. Oops. Oh, this colorway, it's a mess now, but I love it. So this is from Sewrella, and it is their ice cream shop colorway that they did for their birthday. I did use the other, I had 2 of them, and I used the other one most of it. I think I only have like a tiny bit ball. I used it on my gracefully shawl. So the other one is being turned into a Spindrift, and this is from Helen Stewart. And if you made a Helen Stewart shawl, this is a 1 skein shawl, and it tells me I'm about 70% done, which is always encouraging to know exactly where I'm standing on the project. So I am at this point, I don't have, the cable is not long enough. I have my longer cable on some other project. Actually, I could switch them because the other project does not need that big of a cable at the moment, but it's all right. It is a beautiful colorway. I don't even know if the camera will ever do it justice, because even when I photograph it, it comes out way, like the greens, the variegated parts of the greens come out so much stronger than what they are. In real life, this is a very light minty green. And it has pink and some like reddish colors, a tiny bit of speckles of blue once in a while. And it is lovely. I don't have much to say. I have made another Spindrift before years ago for me, and this is going for somebody else, but I'm not going to talk about it just in case the person is watching. But so yeah, I think this will be done by the next time that I podcast, because I started this, I don't know, on the weekend maybe, and it's pretty much done. So that's the Spindrift, and it is sitting, and well, it's being housed in Jenna-Lee's camping bag. So this is from the Knitted Soiree. You know, I love her, and she's actually donating a bag to our prices, which I am so excited, and thank you so much. Then yes, I think that's all I have to say about the Spindrift. It is, like I said, one shawl, and it's just one skein project. So whatever is left over, it's gonna go to my sea glass stay that I'm collecting things for. I am so excited about that one. Oh, I can't wait. So let's talk about the bigger whip that I'm working on right now. So before I show you, let me show you the little swatch that I made for it. I know this is not the biggest swatch, but it's gonna have to do. I did get gauge, so I was able to at least measure that. And this is for the chestnut. So I think I might have mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but Nikki from Knitting with Cat Hair, she is running a year-long knit along for Marie Wallen's designs. So I think it's called A Year of Marie Wallen, and you have a whole entire year to make as many projects as you want. You can just do one, you can do tons. The point is just to go ahead and jump in. And it came at a perfect time. Before she even talked about this, I was thinking, you know what? I don't remember what I was watching, but I was thinking, I have never made a Marie Wallen anything. And I really, really want to make something. And I kept thinking, okay, sometime maybe this fall, I'm going to jump in and make one of her sweaters or one of her cardigans. And then Nikki shows up and she's like, hey guys, I'm doing the chestnut and I'm doing a cowl. And I was like, this is perfect. And the chestnut is actually the one that I wanted to make. I had totally forgotten too that Inga from Knitting Traditions had done the chestnut, but she had turned it into, she did it in the round. And I remember when she was talking about it and like how difficult it had turned because her gauge, and she had to modify things because it wasn't written on the round. Me thinking, oh yeah, that's not the one I'm gonna make. And then I totally forgot that that's the one that she was making. And that's the one I chose because it is one of my favorite. I was in between two of them. I was in between Hawthorn, I believe was the other one, and Chestnut. The reason why I chose Chestnut is because it's harder. Well, it looks harder and it has more, it's more of a challenge for me, and the fact that I have never made an all Fair Isle project. The other one is mostly on the yoke, and I've made yoke sweaters. I have made things with color work just on the yoke. So I wanted to do something a little bit more. I wanted to push my comfort zone, and I wanted to go with something that had all over color work. So I went with the chestnut. And Marie Wallen does sell kits with her own yarn, which are British Breeds. That's the name of the yarn, but those are a bit pricey. And it's not like I didn't spend a lot of money. Just a second, let me have a drink. It's not like I didn't spend a lot of money on mine, but it was like $60 more to get the kit. And so I went ahead and I decided to use Jamieson and Smith and try to match the colors, because I did like the colors. I mean, you can totally come up with your own palette. And I thought about it, but then one of the main reasons why I fell in love with the chestnut, it was because of the color palette that I already had. The design, of course, is beautiful, but it's also the colors. So I went ahead and found colors that were very similar. And that's also another reason to swatch, is to make sure that the colors that I had picked were going to work together and that were going to look similar or as close as possible to the original. And I think it did a pretty good job. So I'm not going to tell you every single color, but in the bottom along the description below, I will tell you the colors that I substituted everything for. So then you can have an idea of what I used. The only color that I bought from her, like that is from the British Breeds yarn, it is a color chestnut actually, because I could not find one from Jamieson and Smith that I liked enough to substitute it. So in this one I only needed 2 balls of it. My dog is obsessed with yarn just as much as me, especially if it's really woolly. Like if it's really woolly yarn, she just can't. Like if you can smell it, I can't smell anything right now, but if you could smell it, this is very sheepy, and she went crazy. So this is the only one, and I just bought 2 balls. I bought it all through the Woolly Thistle because they had all the colors that I needed. And so that means the Woolly Thistle also sells these. But the difference between Jamieson and Smith, they're both 25 grams, and they're very similar texturally and even in the looks of them. So they're going to knit up very great. You can totally mix and match, and it won't be a problem. This is like $9.45 or $9.75, and these ones are $5.75. So when you're buying like 20 something balls of these, you know, it can add up. So there was a big difference. Not even buying the kit from Maria Wallen, but even buying all the original colors from the British Breeds through the Woolly Thistle, it was still like, I think $50 more or something. So I did go ahead. I did save a little bit of money. I did have to buy 2 of these. So at the end of the day, was it worth it? I want to tell myself it's worth it. So let's go with that. Let's go with I saved money. But this is what I have so far. If you are on Instagram, then you probably have seen it. This is how much I have. I did the ribbon, which is really interesting to do a ribbon. Oh my goodness, I'm losing light. It is really interesting to do a ribbon with, it's a 1x1 rib. So you knit and you purl, but the pearls are always with a different color. So you're switching colors as you knit and purl. It was a different experience. I've never done that, but it makes this kind of ribbon, which is gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful, and I don't have lots, but you know, this is the back. So you do it by pieces, and I will have to sew it together. So this is the back, and you do the whole back until a certain point, and then you're gonna do the sides, and then I don't really know. I haven't read that much ahead, so I don't know exactly. Well, you do the arms separately and all that. So you should be able, actually, you might do the whole entire back. That's probably how it goes. You're going to do the whole entire back. You're going to do the whole entire front. You're going to do the arms completely. And then you're going to put them all together by sewing them. I did get a gauge. Still nerve-wracking because it also makes you think, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't fit? This, you do have to knit back and forth, and so far there's only been 1 section at the very beginning, as you can see right here. From between these 2 first brown spots, you have like 9 stitches of white. So usually what you would do, you have to catch your floats, but you're also on the wrong side of the fabric, so you're purling, and you're gonna have to catch your float purling, which is a completely different thing. But it's not impossible, and that is the only one that you have for a long time. So in reality, it does sound scary, but just take it 1 stitch at a time. It is not scary. Fun fact, I actually learned to do color work on the flat. That's the first experience I ever had with color work. It was done in the flat, and it was before I was much into the knitting community, so I just followed the pattern. I followed the instructions of the designer, and she had a blog post about blog post about dominant and non-dominant color. And with that, I just figured, okay, this is how you do it. It was before I was in the knitting community where everyone is like, oh my goodness, not knitting in the round, or like not doing color work in the round is scary and it's hard. And you know what? It is different, and it is maybe a little bit harder, But sometimes when we hear things so much, it's a lot easier for us to like get into that headspace of this is too hard, this is too difficult, and maybe that stops us from trying things. So I say, go for it. If you want to try, go for it. First of all, you have a whole year if you want to follow the the cal. You have a whole year to do it, which is quite a bit for a big project. And second, you don't have to finish in a year. Nothing bad will happen if you take longer. It's okay. It is your knitting. You can do what you want. And if you want to take longer or less, you can do it. So let me show you some of the colors. I'm not going to go through every single one because first of all, I don't even know where the ball band is for this. But so here's this. These ones are beautiful because they're heathered. So it's not just a little bit of green. It's like a little bit of green with blue. Super cute. And then I also have a darker green, as you can see. And that one has a little bit more blue. And then there's this one, which is the teal that has a tiny bit of green in it. So it really goes well together. And then this is the brown that's also a bit heathered. And the main color that I'm using is this one, which is a cream. I don't like stark white, like super bright white. I like more off-white colors. So this one, plus it's a little closer to the original too. So these are the colors, and I will put all their numbers down below because I have it all written down. So that's kind of my adventure right now. This I have, another tip that I want to give you is that give yourself a lot of stitch markers. One, because I like to watch TV while I knit or watch podcasts, and this pattern is not hard, it's just not super intuitive. It's not 2 browns and 3 whites for the rest of the whole entire row. No, so you have to either memorize it, but it's kind of hard to memorize, or I haven't put my time into it because it's a little bit harder. Or you can just put stitch marker in between the sections, either between the 10, because the chart is going to be divided by 10s, or however you want to do it. However it makes sense to you, but use stitch markers. Give yourself that extra help, so then it is not difficult to know where you are in the pattern. And also, if for some reason you mess up, like I've done, before I put the stitch markers, even though I know that this is the best way to go, I do it for lace work all the time. Oh, silly me. And so in case you mess up, you can just go back to that spot instead of the whole thing because you messed up and you can't figure out where you are. I do have a cute little stitch marker right here that divides kind of like the middle in between the 2 charts. This one has 2 charts that you can glue, like I have it taped together, but I'm not really looking at that. I'm actually looking at it on my phone. So I just know exactly where that middle part is. And this is from Sassafras Knits, and she has some beautiful stitch markers. I will show you some more later. This one came in a with 3. Oh, I think I have them here. This one came with 3 with a 2 stitch markers. So this is the other one, which is really cute, just kind of like off-white with and then it came with a progress keeper with like pinks, which is gorgeous. And I'm actually gonna put it here right this minute, and we're gonna put it right now so then we know how far I've worked, because I'm planning on working on this from now until next time when we talk. So I put it there, and it has a star, a moon. It's really pretty. I will put her shop also down below if you want to check out what she has. She has some really pretty like autumn colors right now in her shop, or she's gonna put them up soon. So that is the big project that will last as long as it lasts. I am not worried. I do not get stressed. Whips don't stress me out too much. I think it would if I knew that I wasn't gonna finish, but I am the kind of person who does. So like I have my daughter's shawl that I know it's there, it needs to be finished, but it doesn't have to be finished at any point. I just made her another shawl. And I know it's there, and I will pick it up and it'll get done when it gets done. I don't stress. I believe that's all the whips. That's exciting. So let me talk about some. I know if you don't like acquisitions, then you can jump on to my podcast recommendations, but I am going to talk about some prices that I will add to the price group of things, because I bought some things. So these ones I bought myself, and these ones are from the summer collection from Sewrella, and I absolutely love their yarn. It's so well done. It is so beautiful, and you know how much I love tonals. So this one is this is their classic DK. So this is the DK 100% superwash merino wool, and it is the colorway Golden Peach. And if you see it, it is a semi-tonal. It's not 100% all one color, but I think this would go really pretty. It is not variegated, so you wouldn't get too much of that changing of color. Is more of a tonal or semi-tonal, and it's beautiful. So I kind of wanted one for myself, but I snatched one for you instead. And then I also have one of these, and this one is the classic sock, and it's 100% merino wool, and it's their fingering. And this one is the mojito. So this one is the one that goes with this, or this is so ugly. Yeah, so it is the same collection, and this color, it just makes me extremely happy. So I figured I would grab two for the cow that my beautiful friend Natalie from Blush Yarns sent me. Those were sent to me. I will always let you know if things were sent to me. I think I already talked about this, but I just want you to know these were sent for the cow, and she sent me two for me. So this one is actually, I don't know if you recognize that, but I did make some socks out of the wildflower set. So this is a 50 gram skein with two 10s. So these are 20 in total, but these are tiny minis which go perfect, and it's enough to make a pair of socks. Mine didn't have the sparkles, so these ones are like in a stellina base, but it is gorgeous. So they're 75-25, and and the color is a little deeper. So, but overall, it's the same color, the same colors, and super duper cute. So this is gonna go for someone for the cow. And then this color is a unique colorway, so it doesn't have a name, and it is beautiful, and it's mostly all one color, but it does have speckles, a lot of speckles, and I'm not gonna undo it because it's beautifully done. So, and it's for somebody, one of you, to win for the cow. I'm not really sure how we're doing, like how many things and how many prices we're doing. Ruth and we're getting together to decide that, so I haven't decided that yet. And then this one I also bought with my own money. I bought a set of beautiful, these are all stitch markers. Let me say, yeah, they're all stitch markers. They don't have progress papers, but so it's 6 of them, and they're beautifully green. So I bought myself a set 2 and 1 for the cow. So these ones were actually, I bought them, and these ones are for me. So now I can open them up and put it in my stitch markers container. And so let's move on to acquisitions that are actually for me. Oh, let me show you. These are the 2 that Natalie gave me. This one's called Pansies, which is so pretty. And this one, which is very similar to the other one, it's just it has speckles. This one doesn't have a name, so but from Blush Yarn. So if you haven't checked out Blush Yarns, she does beautiful colors. Natalie lives in Canada, but she actually was born, oh my goodness, I forgot which one of the countries, but then she grew up, she moved from our country, then she moved to Germany where she grew up, and so she speaks Russian. Then she moved to Germany and she learned German, and then as a adult, she decided to move to Canada, not knowing almost any English, and she moved there to learn English, and that's where she lives with her husband and 2 kids. So talk about amazing. She also has a podcast. I mean, she just only has 2 episodes, but you can go and check it out. She's very, very sweet. Overall, such a good person, and this community has allowed me to get to know people from all over the world. Just had a Zoom night with Alexandria from Fiberbound, and we had lots of fun talking and just getting to know each other, because even though we watch each other's podcasts and we talk online, we have never talked one-on-one. So that was fun. I mean, at least I had a lot of fun with her. So the book is also going to the gifts, by the way. So let's talk about, I also got some more West Yorkshire spinners, 4-ply, which is perfect for socks. This colorway is Goldfinch, and this one is called Owl. So they will do self-striping, self-designing things, and it's gonna be for Christmas. So these will make themselves into, well, they won't make themselves, I will make them into socks, and I will give them for Christmas for, I'm not gonna say who, because in case you're watching, but Christmas socks. And then let's talk about my last acquisition that finally made it here. This was from the August collection, and as you can see, it's my Nutiden. They are coming out with a September collection. I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy any. It is very easy to watch these podcasts and to watch people on Instagram and think you have to constantly be buying. But if you've been here before, if you're one of my OGs, whatever, if I have any, you may know that I don't have a huge stash. I do have some, but I don't have tons. It has grown a bit, but I'm also knitting lots. And I believe that you don't have to buy all the things just because they're out there. I think moderation. So I don't know if I'll buy any yet, because I kind of want to have a like, especially with this yarn, since they don't sell any more of the same color, I want to have a project in mind. I can't imagine myself just buying amount. I mean, you would either have to buy a lot to make sure that it will always work for any sweater or anything that you might want to make at one point, or, which, you know, that's a lot of money. Or you have to have a project in mind, and I like that instead of just buying for buying. So that's just me, my 2 cents on, you don't have to buy all the things. But if you do want to buy Nutiden, I do recommend that. I mean, it's great. So if you want to try it, go ahead and try it. This is their green, and it's super hard to tell, probably now that it's darker. Second time recording. But I did try to make a recording earlier, so I will put it there. And this is, they're called Rua, which means raw in Swedish. And it's Rua. And it's beautiful. It is a kind of almost like a deep, deep green. And it's really soft. So the last one that I used for my Gro Shawl, that is called Sheshbenea. And that one, I would say that one's rougher than this. But less than Letlopi and Plotolopi. So just to give you an idea, depending on the blend of fibers that they put together, it may be a little bit rougher, or this one is actually, I think it's really soft. Not merino soft, but it's really soft. The same with this one. So this is called Ruagad. I think that's kind of how you say it. I can't remember very well. And this one, I believe it means overflow, I think. So, yes. And I do have a project in mind for these 2. And I will show you that one later or another day, because I haven't even started it. I did swatch and I did get gauge. It's going to be a very, very flowy and airy. As you can see here, probably, can you see? On this gauge swatch, I did get gauge, and I don't mind the airiness of it. I actually really, really do like it. So we'll see. once I start knitting it up, because this pattern, it's not meant to be, I mean, it wasn't written with Nutiden in mind, but I got a gauge and I want to try to see it. It's only going to be one strand at a time, which will make it a little bit more of a challenge to knit, mostly because it breaks a little easier than with two. Not once it's knit up, but when you're knitting it will break. But you know, spit splicing. I actually did spit splicing with this because it's 100% wool. It worked perfect. So for my son's skift, when I had to join a new ball, I just did split splicing. You can't even tell. And that was one less wool, like something else to weave in. And I didn't have to, you don't have that, because even sometimes when you're like weaving in, you can kind of see from the other side. I tried really hard and I've gotten better at weaving in without ever seeing anything from the other side. But sometimes you do and it makes me mad. But split splicing, you don't have to. It's just saying. The other cool thing is that sometimes they put in Lucky Charms into their patrons packages. So this was from my first ever, so one's the last one with Shush Benea, and I actually got this one and I was like, oh, I wonder if that's gonna be a new color. It was for their new colorway. So if I need a little bit more, I have more. And then for this time around, they gave me a little bit of the one that's coming. But this is a true Lucky Charm because it is between when they change colors in the mill. So when they're putting the new color in, or the new color, yeah, when they're putting the new color in, there is this mixture of two colors, I believe. As you can see here, you can see that there's a little bit of dark, a little bit of light. So I'm not sure what that's gonna go for, but it's there. So it's kind of cool. And I think that's it for that section. Let's move on to our podcast that I've been watching lately, and I have 4 for you. Let's start with Nicole from Professor Pearl. She is a brand new podcaster. She's doing awesome, and her podcasts are really fun. She's a lover of pink and a lover of sweaters. She is having a Love Note Cal that is about to start, or it's already started. She's a mom of one little girl, and she lives with her husband on the West Coast. I believe, I want to say Washington, but it could be Oregon, one of the two. And she's a math teacher, I believe, or like teaches math to math teachers, one of the two. And she's great. She also has a great tutorial on switching skeins. Like if you're knitting with hand-dyed yarn and you want to switch the skeins to make sure that no pulling happens, she has a great tutorial. I will link it to her, like always. I always link the podcast down below, and you can go and check out her tutorial. It was really, really good. The next one is Karen from Stitches and Jacks, and she is a UK friend who knits. I believe she also crochets and she also sews. Overall, lots of crafts, and she's so nice. I got to meet her in person, well, as in person as you can, over Zoom, maybe a month ago, when we did a Zoom night with some of amazing podcasters in the UK. And she's one of Ruth's friends too. So Karen, go check out Karen, please. She's so nice, and she's making some beautiful things over there. And the other one is, you probably have heard of this one, Andrew Mowry. She has a podcast. It's called I Knit If I Want To, and she has a lot of tutorials up. But lately, she a little while ago, she decided to start a podcast where she answers 5 or so questions that people ask them that are knitting related or spinning related, definitely fiber related. So it is very informative. So if you haven't checked it out, I figured I will let you know that that one is very informative and it's really fun. Plus, she's so fun and sweet, and everything she makes is just beautiful. So if you want to check it out. Then the last one, it is Jessica. So Jessica McDonald, she has also a podcast. Like I said, she is the designer of Skift, the Skift sweater. And she has a podcast that I really enjoy because it is from the designer's point of view. And she has really cool tips. And she talks about yarns that I've never heard of, because she does like to knit with woolly wools, and I like to hear about some that are done here in the US. And she lives in Idaho with 4 kids, I believe. She was homeschooled, which is really cool, and she homeschools her kids. So I really, really enjoy her podcast. She also just put up one that talks, well, not, I don't know if just, but like one of her latest ones. It's about her talking about all the different sweaters that she has made, I think in the last year or so. And she talks about knitting with intention, which is how I feel that I like to knit. Even though I want to knit all the things, I want to still make it so then the things that I knit are being worn and that are the correct thing for my wardrobe and the wardrobe of my children, and the things that we need, not just to knit, because I don't want things to just sit there in my wardrobe, if that makes any sense. So it was a very interesting video. And after all that talking, I think we are done. Ooh, I forgot one thing. Another gift for our another price. It is the corny set socks from Laura from the Knitting Pickle, or Penrose Knits on Instagram. She graciously gave us her corset socks, which is her very first design, her very first pattern out there. So proud of you, Laura. She gave us one of her patterns so we can give away, and I'm so proud of her. I already bought the pattern too, which I need to go and make a pair of corset socks for myself. And now we're truly going. I am so happy that you made it this far, and I'm happy that you were here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you liked it, subscribe, thumbs up, all the things that people say on YouTube, and have a wonderful weekend and happy knitting. Bye.